Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
It's winner take all. Democrats are inching closer to taking control of the U.S. Senate after one of two races is called. And right now, all eyes are on the tight battle between Jon Ossoff and David Perdue. But first, a showdown expected on Capitol Hill as Republicans are split over the ceremonial vote to officially certify Joe Biden's electoral victory. But we do begin with breaking news from Kentucky this afternoon, where two detectives involved in that raid that left Breonna Taylor dead, they've been fired officially. Detectives Miles Cosgrove and Joshua James are the latest detectives the department has terminated in connection with the shooting. A third detective, Brett Hankinson, was fired in June for, quote, blindly firing 10 rounds into her apartment. And also making headlines at this hour, in less than an hour, Congress will meet to certify the 2020 presidential election results. More than 100 Senate and House Republicans have objected to the proceedings. As Susan McGinnis reports, President Trump continues his efforts to overturn the vote count and will appear at a D.C. rally of supporters today.
Today, as Congress gathers to certify the 2020 election, thousands of protesters gathering to support President Trump and his baseless claims about stolen votes. The president himself leaving the White House to address the crowd in a dramatic but ultimately symbolic last stand. The joint session of Congress counting the Electoral College votes is a constitutional formality that usually goes unnoticed. But this year, a handful of Trump loyalists in the House and Senate are raising objections to Joe Biden's win in the key battleground states.
This is about the integrity of our elections. And this is about taking a stand.
Republicans pushing baseless claims of election fraud, even after being soundly defeated in a series of recounts and lawsuits. Democrats standing their ground.
4 years ago, for example, where I didn't like the outcome at all with Donald Trump's victory, but I respected the fact the American people made that decision.
While the effort will delay Biden's certification, it lacks the votes to pass. Vice President Pence constitutionally charged with announcing the results, but powerless to change them, despite pressure from President Trump, who tweeted, "All Mike Pence has to do is send them back to the states and we win." A claim that doesn't fit with the reality today in Washington, where Joe Biden is set to take the oath of office 2 weeks from today. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Susan. At least 3 Michigan Republicans, we're told, are among those who might support an objection to this afternoon's Electoral College vote. Congressman Tim Walberg and Jack Bergman, who are pictured there on your screen, announced on Monday that they would be objecting, citing invalidated claims of irregularity and widespread fraud. Newly sworn in Congresswoman Lisa McClain has also signaled that she might object. In the meantime, supporters of President Trump are gathering at the state capitol in Lansing. This is new video of their protest, and they're demanding that Congress investigate baseless allegations of election fraud. As you heard Susan McGinnis report, officials have found no widespread election fraud. Michigan's House Democrats say that they plan to defend Michigan's vote if there is any objection today in Congress. And they all came together earlier this morning to speak out against the effort. Local 4's Larry Spruill was there. And Larry, they say that there is some speculation that Michigan will come up today.
Yeah, Evrod, there's a lot of back and forth between Michigan Democrats and Republicans. Now, today is really supposed to be an easy and simple process. Vice President Mike Pence is supposed to announce the votes, and that's pretty much it. But that is not the case. Several Republicans across the country, including some right here in Michigan, say they will object. Now, there was a meeting earlier this morning between Michigan Democrats talking about what's going on in D.C. They believe there may be objections to Michigan's votes. Delegation has been working over the past few days to defend the election, ready to refute anything based on security. Cited Republicans in the state legislature saying there is no evidence of voter fraud. Dingell says Republicans will not be successful in overturning the election, but they may be successful in creating a crack in democracy.
The irony, of course, is not lost to us. Now, some members of Congress who may object were also on the ballot in the same election. And as they continue to sow doubt in Michigan's election results when it comes to the presidential election, they have no issue taking their own oath of office just a few days ago. They can't have it both ways.
For me, this suppression tactic is one that I've seen throughout history to suppress the vote and the voice of minorities in America. It reminds me of Jim Crow, throwing out legitimate votes of Black Americans. We cannot go down that slippery slope.
And I asked the Michigan Democrats, will they be able to unite and work together with the Republicans? I'm working on that part of the story. All new tonight at 6. We are live in Detroit tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
All right, Larry will definitely be tuning in to hear that. Turning our attention now to the high-stakes Georgia Senate runoffs. Democrats are inching closer to taking control of the U.S. Senate. NBC News projects Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock has defeated incumbent Republican Kelly Loeffler. In one of the races, Warnock will be the first Black senator from Georgia and only the 11th Black senator in all of American history. Right now, the other race between Democrat Jon Ossoff and incumbent Republican David Perdue is still too close to call. Day Gray has a closer look.
Hey there, and as the counting continues here in Georgia, here is what we know right now. At least one Senate seat here has gone to the Democratic challenger, and it looks like the second is trending that way as well. NBC News declaring Reverend Raphael Warnock the winner in his runoff against incumbent Kelly Loeffler, the senior pastor at Martin Luther King's home church, Ebenezer Baptist, barely edging out Loeffler, who has yet to concede. Now, with control of the Senate hanging in the balance, the second runoff here is just too close to call, even though Democrat Jon Ossoff declared victory in a recorded message this morning.
It is with humility that I thank the people of Georgia for electing me to serve you in the United States Senate. Thank you for the confidence and trust that you have placed in me.
Now, again, important to point out, NBC News still has not called this race. Ossoff currently leads Republican David Perdue by about 16,000 votes. The numbers within the 0.5 margin that would trigger an automatic recount in Georgia. That's the latest from here in Atlanta. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
All right, Jay, thank you. This afternoon, Governor Whitmer is going to be updating the state's response to the pandemic. And you can watch what she has to say live right here on Local 4 and on clickondetroit.com. That's scheduled for 1:30. In the meantime, officials from the state's Health and Human Services Department say that coronavirus trends are holding steady, but community spread of the virus continues to be a problem.
There continues to be a low proportion of people reporting that they were quarantining when they became symptomatic. And this is very concerning. We need people to be separated from others if they've been exposed to COVID-19, because it can be spread asymptomatically.
So we're going to have much more from today's data update and Governor Whitmer's news briefing on Local 4 News First at 4 with Karen Drew. New coronavirus case numbers are expected this afternoon as well. In the meantime, let's get you updated on what state officials reported on Tuesday. 2,291 cases have been reported and 189 deaths. In the United States, more than 356,000 Americans have died from COVID-19. On average, each person who has died was deprived of about 13 years of life. That is according to a Harvard researcher. About 1 in 800 Black Americans have died from COVID-19, while 1 in 1,325 white Americans has. And then for the first time since World War II, U.S. life expectancy at birth could drop by a full year. Also making headlines in other news this afternoon, 3 Detroit police officers are in the hospital after a crash on the city's west side. It happened around 8 this morning at the intersection of Myers and Schoolcraft. The officers were going to help another officer when they were hit by a van. All 3 were taken to the hospital. One of the officers in the backseat might have a broken leg, but thankfully all are expected to be okay.
I'm just thankful that it appears everyone's going to be fine from the accident. The officers were, like I said, they were out trying to respond to assist a fellow officer. It's just an unfortunate accident, and we're just glad that no one was too seriously hurt.
That's the good news. Investigators are trying to determine if the officers had their lights activated at the time of the crash. Well, let's switch gears now and keep you updated on our forecast as we take a live look outside from our sky cam. Meteorologist Brandon Roos standing by with a look at where things are going to go today. Brandon?
Well, good afternoon. Happy hump day, everybody. Not much to celebrate in the old weather department. More mid-30s and cloud cover as we look live here in Ann Arbor. We have 34 Lapeer, wind chill there still 28, 37 at Metro with a wind chill of 32, and 36 in Ann Arbor, feels like 30. So a gentle northwest breeze today, but it is enough to create a little of that wind chill, so it feels a few degrees cooler, but middle 30s, pretty much where we're at, probably peaking for the day. Could get some thinning of the clouds, but we're also seeing a few flurries, a couple of drips and drops you see there across Macomb, Lapeer, Oakland counties. Not much to this and no ice concerns, so just dealing with more of the January doom and gloom. Coming up, Evrod, we will take a closer look at that 7-day, which is a little more promising for some sunshine coming up.
All righty, Brandon, we'll see you in just a little bit. Still to come, a night of peaceful protest in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We'll tell you the reason why people gathered after the break. But first, a concerning request why civil rights protections for minority groups might be at risk here in the United States when we come back.